This is the only seat in my house. This is my life now. So I'd really appreciate it if you guys would subscribe so you can not only build your wealth, but help me buy that chair. And maybe you can also join my Patreon so I can buy that chair even faster. A couple of weeks ago, me and I packed up everything in our Boston apartment, and now we have new tenants moving in there. And we were able to put everything in the U-Haul. Well, almost everything. We had to leave a couple of things behind, but we have free storage in Boston, which is absolutely awesome. And what would have been an 11-hour drive without traffic took us about 16 and a half hours to get from Boston all the way down to North Carolina. We left at 5:45 in the morning and didn't get here until 10:15 at night. And I had to drive the U-Haul. I wouldn't wish driving a U-Haul on anybody. It absolutely sucks. It is not fun. It is almost the worst thing that you can do. Well, maybe not as bad as renting out a luxury apartment for your first apartment right out of school, but definitely pretty close. And once we got here, we started renovating right away. We're kind of in the middle of unpacking, living here, and trying to renovate all at the same time. And right now, everything is kind of a mess, and there are things everywhere, and we're just trying to get situated. But it's been pretty fun so far doing those renovations as well as trying to live here at the same time. It has been fun, like I said. I do enjoy doing the renovations, especially with Mia, and things are taking a little bit longer this time. One, because we have a couple more projects, and two, because everything is so back ordered right now. The supply chain is crazy, so we don't have a sink or a faucet yet in order to do our dishes. We have running water elsewhere, which I'm grateful for, but it's definitely not the most enjoyable situation. And during those couple of weeks that I went between moving from Boston to here, I had to take a couple of weeks off of work to do those renovations, to kind of settle in, to unpack. And during those couple of weeks, because it was a bit crazy right then and there, I forgot to publish a second video one specific week of YouTube. And that made me realize that YouTube now owns my life because my views went down by about 75% that week that I forgot to publish twice. So I guess that's what my life is now. I have to continue making videos in hopes that you guys will smash the like button. And because of my personality and Mia's personality, we really just got going right away on those renovations. We're not one to sit around. We really just wanted to do them. So I was starting on doing the bathroom and I ripped it all apart. And it was a really crazy demolition that day. Had to rip 3 layers of wall as well as lath and plaster. And if you don't know anything about that, that makes demolition take a whole lot longer. And then I was planning on going to Home Depot and buying the supplies that I would need next, but they had none of them, so I had to order it online, and it took a week or so to get that. And then there are a couple of things that I thought I was going to do myself, but seem a little bit overwhelming with some of the plumbing. So I called a plumber, had to get some quotes. And then also I decided to rip out the old 400-pound cast iron tub, and I had to order a new one, and it's 54-inch, which is not a standard size. So it's going to take a couple more weeks for that to even come in. So I was thinking that during those 2 weeks, I get pretty close to finishing the bathroom. And right now it is just a completely gutted room. As well as I decided to get some new windows because the windows have the really old school weights in them and they're just not very good windows. And so I figured I could change them out. And that takes a long time to get windows, probably 3 to 6 weeks. So there are just a lot of things going on. So during that time, I decided to help Mia out with the kitchen, and it looks awesome, super excited about it, and someplace that we're really gonna enjoy cooking together. And because things are taking a bit longer, I'm also really trying to take my time and relax and not rush the renovations. I've definitely done that before in some previous homes, and this is a single family home, so when you go to sell it, it's not just other investors looking to purchase for cash flow, there are also families looking to buy their home. So I'm really trying to take that into account and not rush those renovations. And if you want to learn more about some of my other rental properties, I'll put some of those videos up here or in the description below, and you can learn more about some of the things that I've done there, as well as the numbers and story associated with them. But make sure that you're not cutting those corners. This is not corporate America where you can cut corners and still get things done. Hopefully my boss isn't watching this. You have to make sure that you do everything properly so there are no issues later on down the road. And that's really what I'm trying to do. And so sometimes I just have to stop, think about it, and potentially watch some YouTube videos of my own and figure out how to do things properly. Really, things are a mess right now, but there's a lot to be grateful for. I have this extra space, this bedroom right now that I can use to shoot my YouTube videos, which I'm super excited about, to have all of this extra space. This house is twice the size of our apartment, almost about 1,100 square feet. So that's really awesome and something that I'm super excited about, to just have more space we have a second bathroom so that when I'm renovating this bathroom, we still have another one to use. So really grateful for all of those things. And we sold all of our furniture in Boston, so we made a little bit of money, and it was really easy to do all that stuff because I actually sold it to the tenant who was moving in, so didn't have to move it anywhere, just left it in place, and the new tenant is appreciative that they didn't have to carry any new furniture or a couch in. So we still have to figure out what we're gonna do once those renovations are over, where we're gonna put everything, and actually some of the fun stuff that goes along with moving into a place. First though, we gotta make sure that we make it look pretty. And not only am I grateful for a lot of the new things that I have in this house, I'm also grateful for the opportunity for another house, for more things to learn about this new market, as well as all of the unique viewers who are gonna watch this video and subscribe so they can follow along with my journey, as well as smash the like button and watch every single one of my videos all the way through. I've also learned a lot more about this area specifically, and just specifically this neighborhood. It's a very friendly neighborhood, as well as it's kind of a rich neighborhood, which I didn't realize. We got a 2-bed, 2-bath home in this neighborhood, and there are a couple of $1 million homes just situated around it, as well as these smaller houses. And I got my house for $345 and it appraised for more than that, so I'm super excited to have gotten in this neighborhood. And every time someone walks by and greets themselves to us, they say that this is a really difficult neighborhood to buy in, so it feels super exclusive. And I'm excited that that means when we're doing these renovations, that not only will we increase the value of the home, but there will be an even bigger spread. If you're in a better neighborhood and you do renovations to a home, that'll increase the value of the home more than if you were in a less good neighborhood, because they're just more desirable and people want those nice things. And people don't want to move into the nice neighborhood in the crappy home. They want to move into the nice neighborhood where it's already fixed up. So if we can fix it up for them, then they're going to be willing to pay a lot more. So I'm really excited to add this home to my potential 69 toilet portfolio, which is my goal throughout my life, because I don't really care about the number of units I have. I just care about making stupid jokes so that people will continue to watch my YouTube videos. The other thing that I'm trying to do, and something that I'm not always great at, because I don't like to share everything that I'm doing and tell everyone what I'm doing and feel like I'm bragging about owning a couple of rental properties, but I'm really trying to tell all of the neighbors, because this is kind of a wealthy neighborhood and I'm always looking for more relationships, private money, as well as just being friends with people since I'm new to the area. But I'm telling them that this is my third property that I purchased, and we've renovated a number of other units. And they kind of look at me and get confused, look at the pimples on my face and think, how the hell does this stupid kid have 3 properties? What the heck is he doing? How does he know how to do all of these renovations? And he still has a job where he works from home and a desk. None of this really makes sense to them. So I'm really excited to tell them kind of what is going on and maybe get them interested in some of the real estate that I'm doing. So maybe eventually down the road that the people in the neighborhood will invest with me and know who I am and go to me for any real estate investing advice or potentially do any deals with me. And while I've been enjoying all of the renovations and sitting on my toilet in the living room, there have been a number of things that have been happening in my properties back in the Boston area. And if you remember, I have still been self-managing because it doesn't really make sense, in my opinion, yet to get a property manager, but maybe my interaction with the last couple of weeks have changed that. So I had my tenant turnover, I had a new tenant move in and an old one move out, which went somewhat smoothly, and I paid someone to handle that day and figure out all of the return of the keys and all of that stuff. The tenant got a little bit upset. I had told them for a number of weeks and actually months that they had to leave by noon on that specific day, and they were taking a little bit longer, and then they ended up leaving around 4 or 5 o'clock, which wasn't a big deal, but I wanted to make sure that I got a cleaner in. And they were threatening to call the police when my friend who was helping me do the tenant turnover had said, you kind of need to hurry up because things are going on. And there was a bit of a fiasco with the keys. They eventually found them. No big deal, but it was a little bit stressful that day. And then when the new tenant moved in, they had determined that the oven wasn't working. I assume the last tenant never used it. And then a year ago when I had bought that property, the oven was working. So whatever, I ended up buying them a new oven, and now that new tenant is happy, but it was a bit of a fiasco with figuring out the scheduling, with getting the person to bring the oven in, letting someone in. Figured it out. And of course, right after that at my duplex, there was an issue with the tub drain. None of the water was draining, and I wanted to get that fixed so that the tenant could use the tub again. And it seemed like a pretty simple drain clog, so I just called a drain clog company. They came out, had their expensive snaked the issue out. The drain was working again. And the thing that was down the drain was a pair of underwear, which I'm not exactly sure how it made its way down there, but when I heard that, I just laughed. and I thought it was really funny, and I tried not to take it too seriously because these are the kind of things that you get into when you're investing in real estate, and these are the type of calls that you get from tenants and things that you're just gonna have to learn to deal with. And it really wasn't a big deal. It was only $145 to get someone in to take that out, and now the tenant's happy, and I told them that if the source of the clog was similar next time, that they would be paying for it, and they were totally understanding with that. And then of course, after that issue was done, maybe 5 days later, I got a text from one of the tenants in my 3 family that one of the smoke alarms was going off, and one of the tenants had moved in, but they were away for a week, so I had to get someone in to go check out the smoke alarm. It ended up just being a faulty one, so I had to get someone to change that out. And then here we are today. So hopefully now things are going to be a little bit smoother and there's going to be less calls, but you never know. And while I was living there in the Boston area, I barely had this much action throughout the week or a month. But of course, as soon as I move, I get 3 of these calls within maybe 3 weeks of each other. So it's pretty funny how things like that happen. But I'm excited to continue doing the renovating and hopefully have less calls that I have to worry about while I'm doing that stuff. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video, a little bit of an update in my life, things that are going on, a little bit chaotic while I'm still trying to make a bunch of YouTube videos. But it is fun for me to talk about this stuff, do this stuff, and let you guys see a little bit inside to my life. And if you want to continue to follow along, don't forget to subscribe. Gonna do a ton of videos on what we plan to do with the renovations, what is going on with the house, and a number of the issues that are associated with it, and continuing to learn more about this area and hopefully buying more properties. So don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Share with your friends so more people understand how to invest in real estate and can learn more about my awesome life. Thanks again for watching, and hope to see you guys next time.